I'm Doug Massey, and today we're going to be talking about door knocking leads versus calling and setting appointments first. And I'm even going to go over what you need to do when they don't take an appointment over the phone. But for those of you who are wanting final expense telesales training, check this out. I'm going to ask that you watch this video first and then come back to this part of the video and just click on the little link above, which will take you to a 3-part series that's going to cover everything. I mean, we're talking a lot of information, pretty much everything you need to sell final expense over the phone successfully. And yes, this is the perfect time to give this video a like. And we do ask that you subscribe if you're a new viewer. We're putting out new insurance sales content and final expense training videos every week. Let's start by talking about your very first day selling final expense, face-to-face. Now, when I first got into the industry, I was told not to call the leads because they might not take an appointment. So for my wife, Mariana, and myself, well, all we really did for the first, I want to say at least 5, maybe even 6 months, was 100% door knocking the leads. Back then, we used direct mail leads, but nowadays you can door knock internet leads, Google leads, Facebook leads, even the telemarketed leads. Just fair warning, you got to be careful. I do not recommend purchasing telemarketed leads from any offshore call centers whatsoever, as in most cases, most of those leads are TCPA non-compliant. So they're literally illegal leads that can get you into trouble. And for those of you who are new to face-to-face sales, if you're going to stick around until the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get my prop file, which has the props that I use during all of my face-to-face final expense sales presentations. And back to the door knocking, guys, let me just be transparent. Just because I did it for 6 months doesn't mean that you shouldn't call to set appointments first. I mean, here's how I see it. You are definitely going to want to learn how to be a master, really, at door knocking. However, I believe that you're going to get in better use of your time if you learn how to set appointments first. Thing is, there are a couple of things that you need to understand about appointment setting. First, if you're going to have an appointment setting day, it needs to be exactly that. You wake up, you start making calls early in the morning, and then that's basically what you do all day long, and even through I want to say early evening, maybe till around, as late as maybe 8:30, 8:45 p.m. You triple dial the leads, and at some point you do want to start to leave messages. Second, if somebody doesn't take an appointment over the phone, this does not mean that the lead is dead. Here's an example of what I would say when leaving a message. Hi Janet, this is Doug Massey, and I'm calling about the form that you filled out last night at 5:45 p.m. about the special final expense benefits for fixed income Social Security beneficiaries. Now, check this out. I'm going to be in your area tomorrow, and if I have time, I'm going to stop in. Or you can just call me back at my number, 954-394-2014. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye now. Of course, the idea is to leave a message after you've called them over and over and over, possibly even for a couple of days, but it doesn't have to be. I would say maybe at the end of the first day, you can start leaving messages if you're going to be in the field tomorrow. With a message like that, you've got a good shot at them actually calling you back so that you can set an appointment. Right over the phone. And if they don't call you back, at least when you do stop by and do that good old door knock, they're already, have an idea of who you are if they've heard your message at least, and maybe at least at that point they know what this is about, right? What if they hang up on me or tell me that they don't want the appointment? Honestly, guys, in my opinion, you just paid good money for that lead, and the last thing that you should do is throw it in the garbage, right? I've always taken that lead and door knocked it either a few days later or maybe even the following week. And you're going to get good results by doing this. In most cases, the prospect won't even bring up the fact that you guys already spoke and that they told you not to come over. And here's the thing, it either goes one way or the other. Either they're going to invite you in the house or they don't, and at least now you've done everything possible to help them with their final expense insurance needs. You've actually done your job. And if they do call you out and they say something mean, or they remind you that they did tell you that they didn't want anybody coming over, just apologize. Let them know that, your job is to get them the information that they requested, and that's all you're trying to do here. But again, the trick is, if you're gonna call the leads first, to make sure that you've got a lot of leads and to spend the whole day working them. Don't just call through the leads a few times, but we're talking like triple dial all your leads like at least 8 to 10 times on your phone day. And for those of you who are like, well, I'm not that good on the phone, then fine, just door knock the leads, man. However, if you want to become a professional final expense salesperson, you're going to eventually need to suck it up and spend the time that it takes to get good at appointment setting. And that means calling leads, man. It's as simple as that. And just an FYI, guys, back when COVID first came to town, I was still a field agent. Both my wife and I still set appointments, and we still door knocked leads in between the appointments during the whole virus thing. Our sales numbers, just so you know, were exactly the same as always, and we didn't allow the pandemic to shut down our business. However, there were so many telemarketers that seemed to be popping up like out of nowhere, like they were going crazy, that it did actually get a little bit harder to set appointments on the phone. I think people didn't want to answer the phone unless they recognized the number. They were just getting slammed by too many marketers. And that was when we started to take a second look at final expense telesales. We developed this platform where we run these ads all over the internet. The client fills out a lead form expecting a quote for affordable burial insurance, and check this out. About half of these people will actually take the next step and will set an appointment on the agent's calendar expecting a call about affordable burial insurance. The cool thing is that once they set that appointment on your calendar, we know that most of them are doing this on their smartphone. So they get an automated email and they get an automated text message asking them to reply in order to verify the appointment. So now we know that they are into text messaging. And what we've done is design the system to automatically send them another text message, maybe around an hour before the appointment, to just remind them, that we're going to be calling. And voila, not only do we get people to answer the phone, but they are expecting a quote from you. So here's the thing. Now, instead of driving all over the place like what I used to do, you spend some time building rapport over the phone and literally just make your sales presentation 100% remotely from the comfort of your own home. Look, guys, I get it. Not everyone wants to sell over the phone, so that may not be something that you'd be interested in. However, just keep this in mind. With the evolution of funnels and calendar appointment systems, in my opinion, in today's environment, final expense telesales is absolutely the better way to sell. And no, guys, believe it or not, just a few years ago, I didn't feel the same about this. But with the cost of direct mail leads being so expensive nowadays, and of course, those were, the best leads to use for face-to-face sales back in my day, the value is just not there the way it was then. And so, what are you going to do? The best thing to me you can do is get your hands on a system like the one we use, so you can make at least, I want to say 6 to maybe even more than 10 presentations each day the way our agents do. Again, that's telesales. I've never seen agents producing as much business as what we're seeing with our agents today over the phone. And everything is different now compared to just a few years ago. So, of course, it's important to stay current with the times, and that means having up-to-date marketing along with an up-to-date sales process. For a copy of the prop file that I mentioned earlier in the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on selling final expense through our top producer telesales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. Remember, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now, get on that phone and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.